Real change never takes place from the top on down, but always from the bottom on up.
Bernie Sanders' healthcare for all idea is gaining steam.
Free tuition, free college tuition, free tuition champion, Senator Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders added, the greatest threat to national security is climate change.
The future of our planet is at stake.
Sanders taking on Amazon.
Bernie Sanders has been consistent hammering about income inequality.
Nobody in America works 40 hours a week, should be living in poverty. So our economy is rigged. We have a campaign finance system which is corrupt.
Sanders leading the charge to stop war against Yemen.
The first time ever the Senate has voted to end an unauthorized war.
The fight against injustice has been the work of his life.
Jobs and education, not jails and incarceration. We are not going to retreat on women's rights.
Sanders pushing a bold agenda that includes protecting DACA recipients and comprehensive immigration reform.
You don't rip little children away from the arms of their mother.
A major announcement from Amazon. Amazon will raise its minimum wage to $15 an hour. 350,000 workers, thousands of workers at Disney World will get raises. It's a victory for Bernie Sanders.
It's a victory for all of us. Brothers and sisters, we have a lot of work in front of us. If we are prepared to stand together, there is no end to what the great people of our nation can accomplish.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. I wanted to talk about Bernie Sanders today, and I felt like that was a good way to introduce the feed, was to play his first campaign ad of this new campaign. It's inspirational, right? It's nice to see a politician with a clean background fighting for things that we believe in, fighting for things that benefit society. It's exciting. I think this whole campaign is very exciting, but it's also very stressful because, as you see today, the DNC establishment has unloaded their next weapon against Bernie Sanders, Joe Me Too Biden. Creepy Uncle Joe has now thrown his hat into the ring, and trust me when I say this, he's running against Bernie Sanders. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Joe Biden is running to stop Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden represents the establishment. Joe Biden represents the powers that be. Bernie Sanders represents the people. They're not running 30 candidates because they're afraid of Donald Trump. They're running 30 candidates because they are terrified of us. Bernie's campaign is not about Bernie. That's one of the most important things about Bernie's campaign. Bernie's campaign is about us, the people. We fund it, we support it, we're the media for it, we're every part of it. This is a very exciting political movement. And I'm excited, as most burners are. This is an exciting time, but I'm also afraid. I have to tell you, I was there in 2016, as many of you were. And what I see the establishment doing to try to stop Bernie in this very early stage, it has me worried, especially when you factor in the mainstream media manipulation of the narrative. They would have you believe that Joe Biden announced his candidacy today and is the front runner. As a matter of fact, they've been trying to push Joe Biden as the front runner long before he ever announced a candidacy for president. Now, why is that? How come when you Google top candidates for the 2020 Democratic nomination, Google's results start with number 2? You have to click the link to see that Bernie Sanders is the front runner. This is what we're going to be up against. The mainstream media is going to do everything they can to stop this campaign, to stop our momentum, because the mainstream media is just a propaganda arm of the establishment power that truly controls our country. Now, what I see that man doing, hey Nissa, happy Thursday. What I see Bernie doing is beautiful. Just that man giving his message across this country, and he is hitting everywhere. Look at Bernie's map. He is going everywhere. He is not focusing on Democratic counties and states. He's going to Trump areas. He's going to heavy Republican areas. He's even doing town halls on Fox. By the way, Fox was much more fair to Bernie than CNN or MSNBC or any other network that considers themselves to be left-leaning. Fox actually gave Bernie a fair town hall with a real audience. CNN fills their audience with shills and loaded questions. Nissa says, no, Joe, fucking perv. Joe Biden is a pervert. There is plenty of evidence for that. But we have a lot of reasons to be against Joe Biden outside of him being creepy. Joe Biden was one of the authors of the Patriot Act. Joe Biden voted for NAFTA. Joe Biden is against Medicare for all. Joe Biden is against legalizing cannabis. I could go on and on and on, but he is a proven establishment shill. And for me, that's enough. Being pure establishment, feeling like there's no problem with the corporate welfare that's going on in this country, and feeling like healthcare is not a right, that disqualifies you in my book. I've got my candidate, and I've seen nobody offer me anything better than Bernie Sanders and what Bernie Sanders has to offer. Now, the other side of that coin, you see people, well, Bernie won't be able to get anything done. Bernie will get into office and he won't be able to accomplish anything. By himself, you're absolutely right. But like I said, the beauty of Bernie's campaign is it's not about Bernie, it's about us. And we have to know going in that our job does not end with electing Bernie Sanders president. This political revolution is from the bottom up, not the top down. Electing Bernie is a victory. That would be very nice. But Bernie can't accomplish anything unless we reform this entire broken government, which honestly isn't broken. It was built this way. It was built to be this way. It was designed this way. So to tear it down is going to take all of us unified and staying vigilant. And that's long after Bernie Sanders gets elected president. Helen's here. Hey, Helen. But I want to hear what you guys have to say, because I spend too much time worrying about this. I worry so much, not that we'll fail, not that Bernie will fail, but that our establishment powers that be will have the balls, the nerve to rig another primary. They're already rigging the polls. They're already slanting the media. They're already doing all of the dirty tricks they did before against Bernie. But what scares me is not just the media reporting inaccurate facts about Joe Biden being so popular, when we all know that that isn't true, ignoring Bernie's popularity and downplaying it, ignoring Bernie's fundraising when that's not coming from big corporate donors and super PACs. That's coming from people like me, opening up my wallet and donating money that maybe I can't even afford to donate because I believe in something. That's where that money's coming from. That gives me a lot of hope. You see money pouring in like that, and actual gestures being done by regular people to try and change this country in a political way. You know, John F. Kennedy said, if peaceful revolution is made impossible, I'm butchering it, but that violent revolution will become inevitable. We are trying to do this peacefully. We are trying to do this the right way. And Bernie is trying to lead us on that path. Now, it's going to take extreme unity on our part. And it's going to take us being loud, very vocal, in order to stop them from rigging another primary, which would be horrible on many levels. I really hope that they don't intend to do that. I have no faith that they don't. I don't trust them. But for some reason, this throwing Biden into the race, it's really got me really concerned how far the establishment plans on taking this. Because they're pushing this shill, Biden. They're acting like he's the front runner. You know, that could sway public opinion. And maybe that's as far as they'll take it. But that's not, they took it much further last time. So it worries me. So send those money bombs to Bernie today. We need to show our solidarity. We need to show our support, and we definitely need to show our strength. So if you can afford to, send those $27 money bombs today. Send anything you can. Donate $5 if that's all you can donate. It all adds up, and it's going to send the only message that the establishment understands: money. That's all they understand. We have to out-earn these establishment shills, which means we have to out-earn these billionaires. I know we can do it. And if we stay vigilant, there is no way they can rig it again. Do you understand? We have to be the media. They're going to make that harder to do too. Don't ever think that they won't try everything they can to stop this. They didn't realize what they had done when they tried to shelf this movement. We cannot lay back. We cannot give an inch. It is time to crush Joe Biden. Bernie's running against Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders and us, we have different jobs. Bernie Sanders is running a clean campaign. It's on us to be the media. It's on us to inform people. It's on us to expose Joe Biden's record. You know, we don't need to take the low-hanging fruit. There'll be other women come forward against Joe Biden. Guaranteed. He's got more Me Too's coming at him. You can leave the creepy thing alone. Let's just talk about his voting record. We don't have to go with the creepy Joe Biden memes, although that's easy, low-hanging fruit, and it's there. And they know that, and they do not care. They're going to still try to shove him down your throat. You just have to resist. Turn off the mainstream media is the biggest thing. Forget the mainstream media. We can't rely on them, we can't count on them, and we definitely can't trust them. They're completely bought off. They're just the propaganda arm of the establishment, and that's all they are. They're not going to do anything to fairly... You know, Fox is reporting more accurately and fairly about Bernie Sanders than any network. Fox is actually calling him the front runner. Fox is actually talking about how he's out-earning all the other candidates. Fox. Hey, Cindy. Good to see you here. But I just want us to realize we're in big trouble as a country. And it's a lot bigger than Donald Trump being our president. We're controlled by an oligarchy. We're controlled by greed and big money interests. The only person talking about fighting back against that is Bernie Sanders. The only person talking about who the real enemy to society is these billionaires leeching off of society, using it to enrich themselves, but giving nothing back. can't allow it. We can't allow it to continue anymore, because this country as we know it will cease to exist. Their unlimited greed, they will run this country into the ground. They plan to do it. It's in the cards. We have to stop this. Now, I feel the best person for us to unify behind is Bernie Sanders. We need to unify behind Bernie Sanders in unignorable numbers, in numbers so massive, they have to relent. They can't fight. We cannot let them feel like they can get away with rigging a primary. We can never back down. This is not a regular election. That man is 77 years old, running for president. I sincerely doubt that that's a vanity thing. He's running for president because he feels like he's the only one that can get us unified, get in there and make real change. Well, I'm glad we got some people in here. Let me know some ideas that you guys have on ways we can fight this establishment barrage of candidates, because I worry that they're flooding the field, not to muddy the waters, but to make it easier to rig. You know, you got 30 people standing on the stage and 30 people in the primary voting. You got a lot. It's a lot of distractions. It worries me. Well, I do know why I let it worry me. You know, it's our momentum is exciting. Our power is exciting. What we've accomplished so far is very exciting. These are all good things. It worries me because they hold all the cards. And without using our numbers against them, without forcing them into submission, they will continue to play their rigged hand. They will continue to hide aces up their sleeve. They will continue to play dirty. We have to hold them accountable at every moment. And right now, our biggest enemy is going to be the mainstream media. So what I think is important for us to do today on Biden's announcement day is to bomb the shit out of Bernie Sanders' campaign, show our support, and begin the process of crushing Joe Biden. Because I believe Bernie Sanders is our only hope. And I think his message needs to get out to all these people who have been convinced that all they deserve in life are scraps. You deserve better. And Bernie going around the country telling people that they deserve better is a good thing, and something I support, win or lose. So I hope you guys will donate to Bernie. I put links in the description to drop a money bomb today. But also, let me go ahead and mention some honorable mentions real quick that we also need to be focusing on a little bit too. We should also kick a couple bucks to Mike Gravel. If you're not familiar with Mike Gravel is 88 years old. He's anti-establishment, anti-war, and is not running for president to win, is running for president to hold these people accountable in the debates. So if you can kick a buck or two to Mike Gravel to help him get enough money to get in the debates, I think it would be a strong ally for Bernie. And I also think we should do the same thing for Tulsi Gabbard. I think that we want all three of them on the debate stage. So if you have the means to do so, kick a few bucks to Mike Gravel and Tulsi Gabbard as well. But thanks for watching this feed. And if you already support Bernie Sanders, thank you for everything that you're doing. And know that this is on us. We are the ones that are going to have to do this. Bernie cannot do this for us. So I know that we know what we need to do, and I know we're going to do it. We just got to make sure we get enough regular people on board with us. And we're going to have to look at our approach to do that. But we got to get everyone united. We got to move forward. We got to keep building our strength, because they're going to keep throwing things at us. The obstacles will not stop. Desiree says, honey, Bernie's financial strategy equals a train wreck. I like Ike, Uncle Bernie too, but it would be a friggin' train wreck. Why is that? Why would Bernie's financial strategy be a train wreck? Is it that you don't think billionaires will pay their taxes? Is it you don't think we can make billionaires pay their taxes? Is that you feel like we need to spend $700 billion on war every year? Oh, here's a fun fact. The Pentagon cannot account for $6.5 trillion. But yeah, we can't afford healthcare and education. You're being led to believe a lie. You're being led to believe that we can't afford to do these things, that we can't improve our country's crumbling infrastructure, that we can't create good paying jobs, that we can't have healthcare, that we can't have education comparable to the rest of the first world countries on this planet. You're being fed that lie by greedy billionaires and corporations and a media that works for them. It is a lie. It would not be a train wreck. It makes perfect sense. If you've actually looked at his platform and looked at his outlines and looked at the budget plannings and all the numbers, it all adds up. The Koch brothers even did a study trying to prove that Medicare for all would be more expensive, and it backfired. It's cheaper. It's proven to be cheaper. These programs just make sense. They're not only morally right, they make sense. I don't understand these people who've been convinced to live on crumbs, convinced that that's all we deserve. You know, I paid more taxes last year than Netflix, Amazon, and Google combined. Hell, I paid more taxes this morning when I bought stuff at the grocery store than those companies combined. But they've got you convinced to worry about your neighbor who's getting $300 a month in food stamps. They've got you convinced that's who's dragging you down. Not corporate welfare, not tax cuts to billionaires. Dion says, learn MMT, modern monetary theory. These plans actually make sense without MMT, but there is a lot interesting there as well. I don't know enough about it to really rant about it right now. I've never went down the MMT route. But the plans make sense financially with or without MMT. But the MMT people argue that the money is just created out of thin air. I'm not exactly sure what the MMT is about. Maybe Dion could give us a little more insight into that. But it always sounded to me like creating money out of thin air. Is that what it is? But thank you guys for watching, and remember that you deserve better. We all deserve better, and we can have better. And don't believe the lies that it's too expensive and it's impossible, because that is exactly that. It's lies. These people are liars. They use their power to control you, and they have their media lie to you and spread false narratives. You deserve better. We all do. We deserve Bernie Sanders to be president. We deserve his platform to be implemented. We deserve things like Medicare for all. We deserve better education. We deserve a living wage. And we can have all these things. But as Bernie says over and over and over again, the only way we're going to get any of these things is if we stand united by the millions and demand it. So that is what we have to do. So I pledge allegiance to you, my fellow burners. Let's go on about our day and win this. We're going to win. All right? The establishment can throw anything they want at us. We know what to do. Drop those money bombs, pledge your support, and bring in new supporters. Thank you guys for your time. We'll see you next time from Politics and Stuff.